That's LAPD, that's group stalking. It's Saturday, March 16th, 2024. They're group stalking in the specific environment. At this is Alvarado Gardens. The light source is here. The entity is maintaining the specific environment. There is at no time of year ever going to be the sun over Alvarado Gardens. And I've provided a wealth of documentation stating what is a prolonged period of federal group stalking monitoring as I've been subject to it. And this is the grounds that's covered with engineered light. They are engaged in what is massive facilitation, they being the corrupt law enforcement agency. The Los Angeles Police Department engages in what is systematic group stalking using helicopters. And so that is a tool that's to be removed from that agency. And it's also informing the federal government with regard to how these corrupt law enforcement agencies are engaging in the state monitoring system and that massive facilitation that they engage in with the people of the state. This is the minion. This is a demon-possessed group stalker who is under the light source. She's creating activity, and she's doing so in the specific environment. She's 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 5. She's going to be deported. And if she is an American citizen, I'm speaking to what is federal prison. She's demonstrating what is ongoing malice and impunity, which I want to be clear, the entity that is living at a crime scene is demonstrating by virtue of being dedicated to the state's criminal act of federal group stalking and monitoring. They live in the specific environment. This is a state system that the people of the state are engaging in on a ceaseless basis. It is currently, by the way, Alexa, what time is it?
It's 8:44 a.m.
It's 8:44 a.m. and that's the Los Angeles Police Department group stalking by helicopter. And the entity is, I want you to see this. Hold on. This is impossible light that's on my bedroom wall right here. Can you see my hand? That's impossible light that's appearing on my bedroom wall. And I've also got multiple shadows. So let me try to back up so you can see. And all I'm doing is moving my arm like this. This is this environment where the Los Angeles Police Department, these are demons. Okay, this is revealing their demon possession. This is revealing their participation, their practice of satanic conduct, which is criminal because they're monitoring an American citizen, and it's satanic at its core. And it is also enabling those that are in relevant positions, such as 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 5, who's in relevant position in the parking lot, pacing around her vehicle under the light source, indirected light, monitoring, and she knows exactly what I'm saying. These are demons. Okay, this is criminal activity, but understand this is demonic in nature. This is also why you have what is impossible light activity that's appearing on my bedroom wall. But while, by the way, the light source is on the opposite side, this directed light has nothing to do with sunlight. Nothing. Okay. This is a method of what is light activity. This is engineered light that's moving on the wall right now. This is demonic. This is what the Los Angeles Police Department are engaging in. This is speaking to what is the amplified helicopter activity. That's audible activity. This is light that's moving on the wall. This is the real life demonic, okay? There is nothing that's going to occur that's naturally occurring. You are witnessing the demonic. I am surrounded by what is a demon-possessed population, and they're engaged in what is corporate invasion of privacy. This is speaking to the sex offense that is the entity that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, and ongoing molestation, and ongoing invasion of privacy by an entity that's placing me under surveillance and flying over me by helicopter right now, amplifying the sound of helicopter activity. Amplification is demonic. All right, because they can actually be flying at a great distance, and yet they are targeting with the sound of that helicopter activity. And they are, I've also shown you that as well. You can hear the amplification, for example, in my apartment or in my office. And that's why I'm documenting in Los Angeles. I've documented that same demonic method outside of Los Angeles County. Amplification is a demonic feature of the system. It's how the demon-possessed are targeting you, and they are outwardly appearing as though they're disinterested in doing something else. All right, because group stalking and monitoring is supposed to be a figment of the imagination of the target individual. This is the pattern of the blinds appearing on the ceiling. All right, this is light that's appearing right here. This is impossible light. This is the demonic environment that fills my space. This is direct evidence against the Los Angeles Police Department, who are group stalking in helicopter. This is the significance why the environment is here. They are doing so with the people of the state who live in relevant position. All of the third-party group stalkers at Alvarado Gardens, by the way, are the people of the state whom I have identified by name. And they're simultaneously being documented and being documented as what are sex offenders and engaging in what is documented acts of terrorism as I capture video of the Los Angeles Police Department group stalking by helicopter. This is the impossible placement of light. Again, just giving an ongoing example of the body of evidence that already exists. There is no sunlight that is ever going to appear at any time of day, because the entity's documented place of a light source is not going to change from day to day or from year to year by virtue of this demonic system that the entity is practicing. because, in other words, because they surrounded me with creating the universe around me, as though the sun rises over me, stays over me, and the moon is over me at night. There is no time of day where the sun is ever going to be over Alvarado Gardens. And all I did was document it. The entity is engaging in what is repeating this center of the universe conduct, which is terrorism, wherever it is that I go, for however long it is that I'm there. And in addition to that, and so what am I speaking of? For example, what you witnessed yesterday was the maintenance of the light source over the demon-possessed law enforcement agency, the Ontario Police Department, who were group stalking in concert with the people of the state in a specific environment. And I showed you from the beginning of the day at approximately 7:52 a.m. until after 5 p.m. When I stopped capturing video. But the entity is rising and setting the light source at that same venue, which was the Ontario Town Center. And at no time of day, when you juxtapose it to what the entity has been doing, I've already shown you what they're doing here in LA. There is no point where the sun's ever going to be over Alvarado Gardens, because I'm showing you what the entity was doing. And by virtue of the entity engaging in the pattern of conduct and it relying upon what's supposed to appear as a natural environment, there is no time, there is no explanation, there's no reconciling with what was documented at the Ontario Town Square on March 6, 2022. The entity is engaging in an ongoing ceaseless pattern of conduct, and this is prosecution for what are the demon-possessed, and they are known as a matter of fact. I'm referencing not only the people of the state, but the Los Angeles Police Department, who are demonstrating an unhealthy and life-threatening obsession with stalking me and monitoring me. And they are also aware of the documentation. Let me be clear, that exhibited show of malice and impunity and obsession, okay? But you also have what was combined with that was fear. And what am I referencing? The video that I captured at 4:01 p.m. when all of the entity is aware of the fact that I was going to step out and capture video of what remained, because the light source was still there, okay? The entity, when you're capturing the demonic, you're capturing that which has nothing to do with the natural environment. So the demonic, the demon-possessed, this demon-possessed entity that's engaged in now what they understand is going to be criminalized and prosecuted and exposed, which is embarrassing to them. The entity is covering up its light source at 4:01 p.m., but you saw the LAPD pacing around in helicopter. And they were still engaged in the same exact criminal elements of monitoring. And I also gave to you, and that's why I still went through all the analysis, because the pattern of conduct remains. The entity is engaging in what is covering up that which it is fearful for me to expose. But again, like I said, this demon-possessed entity remains in a stature of being behind. Okay, they are underneath. Okay, they are following, literally group stalking me. And they're also following with regard to incapable of being ahead of what is exposing them and what's prosecuting them and what's surrounding them. And so with regard to covering up the light source, I published yesterday additional documentation, because I already captured the light source over this venue at 4 o'clock, at 4:01, at 4:02, at 5 p.m., after 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m., which is speaking to and establishing the same exact impossibility that there's any sun over the Ontario Town Square while it's remaining over me here in Alvarado Gardens. And that same analysis applies in the reverse, okay? There's no sun over the Ontario Town Square if this is the sun that's remaining here over Alvarado Gardens, directly in alignment to me, by the way, rising and setting in alignment to me while it's remaining. And then in addition to what is the duration of the day, by virtue of remaining for the duration of the day, you know that this is not the natural environment. And it is also speaking to that which is impossible to occur at the same time. And so this is revealing what is an unnatural environment. This is going toward the people of the state. Because like I said, these corrupt law enforcement agencies, it is well within the capacity of the federal government to handle these corrupt law enforcement agencies that are exposed in every regard. You are speaking to and I am informing about that which is in no way impervious to prosecution. There is no, injustice requires that this be the case, this be the outcome, that the people of the state are subject to prosecution because of the fact that they are engaged in an unprecedented crime. They are the malicious face of the public entity that is group stalking with demon-possessed and highly corrupt agencies, such as the Ontario Police Department, such as the Los Angeles Police Department. And there is no grounds upon which pure numerosity should be something where people can avoid justice. All right. And so like I stated, it is unacceptable that because the group stalkers are high in numbers, that they avoid justice. That's unacceptable. All right. And that's not the case. So that's not going to be the case either. But in addition to that, while the Los Angeles Police Department are group stalking, flying over my helicopter this morning, while you're looking at the light source, which is maintained in an entirely different region for the duration of the day at that, which under no circumstances is occurring at the same time. And under all circumstances, it is speaking to what is the unnatural environment. It's the pattern of conduct, because while I've shown you the documentation of the light source in a distinctly different location, which is not going to be seen through this window, and while you're looking at the light source that remains here in alignment to me here, this is speaking to what is under all circumstances an impossible natural occurrence. It's not naturally occurring. This is demonic. The light that you see in my bedroom, that you see in my apartment, is of a demonic nature. The behavior of the law enforcement agency, that is the Los Angeles Police Department, these are people that are of a very specific condition. And so while I am letting you know about the criminal act that they are perpetrating and who they are acting with, that is the people of the state, all the people whose address is a matter of public information on Google Maps, okay, Google Earth, they are already documented. I want to be clear. It's not just criminal. What needs to be known, and this is why I'm letting you know about the environment. You can see it yourself. Dynamic light on my bedroom walls. Well, you're looking at the light source that's out here. So there is no explanation for that dynamic light that you just saw moving around on my in my bedroom. This is an open demonstration, and while they are by they, I mean the Los Angeles Police Department, it's a demonstration of demon possession. Understand the significance of the behavior that they're engaging in the specific environment. In addition to that, you not only are you capable of prosecuting it, those are the elements of monitoring, and it's demonic in its nature. It's also speaking to what can also be prosecuted is the intent to psychologically and emotionally harm, to threaten. This demonic behavior, which is highly demented, is designed to inflict immeasurable harms, okay, when they are stalking and pursuing and persisting, surrounding with what are demonic methods of their criminal system. And this is that directed light conduct. This is what the people of the state engage in. Again, the demon-possessed third-party group stalker, the ONS, AHN, of 1818 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 4, crossing path by driving in the specific environment in their vehicle, and that resulting in, at the same time, impossible light activity, engineered light moving across the building 1800, which I captured on video. This is what the demon-possessed engage in. This is exactly what's occurring while you see dynamic light moving around inside of my private space while I am physically surrounded. Understand how that's the same exact objective. The demonic objective is to be in relevant position while the engineered light is present. And so while I'm moving around, this is creating this, the demons are monitoring me. But I want to be clear, it's the same thing when a demon is crossing path, when they are in motion and this dynamic light is appearing. All of these are methods of terrorism while a demon-possessed entity is stalking and monitoring you as one. Okay. So this is speaking to the outward demonstration, and this is the Los Angeles Police Department. They are themselves telling the world what their condition is, what their problems are, and why they are in every way disqualified, not only based on the fact that they are surrounded by evidence speaking to what is a crime, an unprecedented crime against an American citizen who has exposed it, but they are also disqualified based on their demented mindset and their condition, which is the demon possession that they're subject to, and it is grounds for disqualification. And they're demonstrating what is also a threat to an American citizen. That demon possession is, I want to be clear, it is the reason for their obsession with me. It is the reason why they are pursuing me in the unfathomable method of using a helicopter. This is a pattern, okay? This is the demon possession that I've shown you of these police departments. They are suffering from the same exact condition. It is demonic at its core. The environment is demonic. I've shown you that. And I also want you to know, yes, you're prosecuting it, but I want to be clear. I want to make sure that you understand that this is demon possession in operation over police departments. And it's not just the one flying the helicopter. It is the entire department. So you need to understand in the same way that you are looking at the masses. I've been documenting this pattern of conduct, and at no point in time has it ever been contradicted. Does it ever stop? This is speaking to thousands and thousands of people. You're talking about what is a matter of public corruption, in other words. Public corruption. And what's at the core of this public corruption? Demon possession, darkness, wickedness. Okay, and conditions which are invisible to man's eye, which cannot necessarily be diagnosed by any mental examination. Well, it could be addressed in a secular, but its spiritual core, the fact that it's demon possession, this is something that I'm speaking beyond what any mental health therapist is going to address, okay? And this is something that it is relevant. It is something that needs to be within the knowledge of the federal government, even though it's not something that we necessarily need to address specifically. There are ways to address demon possession with regard to federal group stalking and monitoring, and it's called malice. It's called malice. All right, it's called demented behavioral patterns. We're referencing the same without getting into any sort of quote unquote religious speech or anything like that. There's ways to address it, but I will not mince words, and I'm going to let you know what is the condition of the people of the state. To engage in group stalking is to practice demonic activity. And this is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. And unfortunately, the reality is that many have succumbed to this condition of demon possession. And this is just the facts. Okay, I can't make up this pattern. I can't make it up, because even if I made up a pattern, it's outside of my control that everybody is acting in conformity to it. It's out of my control that the environment is acting in conformity to it. Literally the environment. I have no control over the environment. The environment literally follows me, and that's demonic. Okay, this obsession is demonstrated through the environment. This obsession is demonstrated through the behavior. Okay, it is currently, again, while you're witnessing the demonic and this is called light activity, because the light source doesn't go anywhere. You already know that it rises and sets in alignment to me. Again, another illustration of the demon possessed who are exhibiting their obsession with me. I am not a part of this entity. I do not have that condition of demon possession. I am subject to what is the obsession of those that are of that condition. And that is terrorism. It is criminalized because it's a government that has this obsession. It's a government that's invading my privacy. It's a government that is stalking me. There are laws that deal with the government engaging in that. And this is the ability to criminalize the demonic practices of the public entity. And it is a matter of public corruption. So this is what I want to be clear that this is the surrounding context and what's going on in my environment. This is the ongoing prosecution of that demon-possessed entity, the Los Angeles Police Department, who is engaged in an ongoing ceaseless group stalking, which is facilitation, enabling the masses to monitor me. Okay, understand what goes with being a group stalker. You're a violent sex offender. You are a highly demented actor. You are a threat to the public. And that's not an exaggeration. That's not an exaggeration. This is by virtue of what they are doing and how they are doing it. The heightened level of malice, okay? The entity is keeping this light source. You already know that. The light source remains over me, hovering over me. I've given a plethora of videos showing that this light source is not going anywhere, just like you have already witnessed. And so while I speak to the truth of the condition of those that are listening to me, the entity engages in what is, and you already know that this is the operation of a natural environment. So you are literally witnessing the demonic. Okay, because that light source isn't going anywhere. And as I speak the truth about what they are and what they're doing, this is what you get. All right. Anyway, it's currently 9 a.m. on Saturday, March 16th, 2024. And this is P.O.C.